In addition to mating calls, many frogs make several other sounds. In most species of toads, the female is mute. She makes no sound when seized during the breeding season, whereas the male produces what has been called the warning chirp. Sometimes it is a sort of clucking sound, and in toads it is usually accompanied by the warning vibration. Both sounds can be heard in the southern toad, Bufo terrestris. This warning chirp, accompanied by the warning vibration, makes it possible for the male to distinguish members of his own sex from female toads encountered at the breeding site. This is the warning chirp of the boreal toad, Bufo boreus, a species that has no mating call but still utters a warning chirp if seized by another male. A much larger species, the Colorado River toad, Bufo alvarius, sounds a warning note that is more of a clucking sound than a chirp. The warning chirp is also produced by most tree frogs. Here, for example, is the warning chirp of the California canyon tree frog, Hyla californiae. True frogs, that is, the various species of rana, also have warning croaks. This is a sound produced by a male Florida gopher frog when seized by another male. Whether it is the warning croaks or the accentuated respiratory movements that accompany their production, there is little doubt that such sounds are the principal means of sex recognition in frogs. In some instances, frogs have a special call that is uttered at intervals throughout the warmer part of the year. These calls seem to serve the purpose of advertising the presence of individual frogs to other males of the same species in the vicinity. The voice is employed to maintain a primitive sort of territoriality. In eastern North America, the single notes of the territoriality call of individual green frogs can be heard throughout the summer. These sounds were issuing from a ditch near Orange Springs, Florida. Another sort of call produced by many tailless amphibians has been termed the rain song. Very often this sounds like a half-hearted mating call, although it does not seem to be associated with breeding activities. Tree frogs in Florida often start calling after a brief shower or after a sudden rise in the relative humidity. The noise of the rain or an airplane flying over often serves as a stimulus for tree frogs to start calling. The squirrel tree frog, clinging to a limb high up in a tree far removed from any breeding site, may come forth with its rain song. In addition to mating calls, warning chirps, warning vibrations, and rain songs produced by one kind of frog or another, many species give vent to what are loosely termed screams of fright. Frogs of either sex often scream when seized by snakes, raccoons, or similar enemies, or even when seized in the human hand. Under such conditions of duress, the sound is produced with the mouth open. This is the scream of the leopard frog. The sounds employed by the same kind of frog under different conditions are quite distinctive. The mating call of the pig frog, with very little modification, also serves as a warning croak. The same frog has what is probably a territoriality call, little more than a snort, uttered at infrequent intervals. And finally, if seized, it may open its mouth and give vent to a sort of hoarse scream. Here is the breeding chorus of pig frogs. Its single grunt can be heard in the background of a chorus of cricket frogs. Or when seized, the pig frog emits a deep-throated sound that corresponds to the scream of the leopard frog. This is always given with the mouth wide open.